All right, then. So now let's understand how the Python interpreter works and what's the difference between the compiled languages and the Python interpreter language. So basically, so in this video, we are going to demystify the crucial aspects of Python programming, which is the interpreter. So we have to understand what is it and how does it impact the way of our code runs. So without wasting the time, let's dive in, right? At its core, an interpreter is a program that directly executes the instructions written in a programming language, just like the same way what we did over here. So that will execute the line by line, unlike like any compiled languages. So Python is an interpreter language, and this has some interesting implications for how we write and how to execute our code and everything. So let's understand how the interpreter works briefly, right? So whenever you run a Python script, all right, so whenever you run a Python script, the interpreter reads your code line by line and executes on the fly. This means you can see the results of your code immediately, right? In the compiled languages, the entire code is translated into the machine code before the executions. But in Python, the interpreter translates and executes the code one statement at a time, right? So using the Python interpreter over here, we can see we have a code like print hello world or something, right? So we have this line. So the interpreter, you can see it's using the REPL, REPL. So it's using this REPL, REPL, which means read, eval, print, load. So it's an interactive shell where you can type the Python code and see the results instantly, right? So for instance, which I'm talking about, if you type Python over here, just Python 3 or Python alone, so that will open up that REPL, which means the read, eval, print, loop, where you can write the line by line code and instantly that will give you the output. For instance, let's say print the same stuff, hello world, hit the enter, and that will gives you the instant output over there, right? So in this example, we have a simple print statement, and if you run this code, that will execute this line and it will instantly gives you the output over here. Okay, so as you see, the interpreter immediately executes the code and displays the results. So what is the main advantage of this thing? So unless like any compiled programming language, you have to write the entire coding stuff and you have to check the coding before executing it. Like it's going to compile the entire stuff and it's going to throw the list of errors, how many lines, it's going to give the list of errors line by line over here and there. So that is going to give you the list of errors, something like that, after compiling the entire program. But Python, on the other hand, the main advantage of the interpreter, it's the main case of debugging, in the ease of debugging. Since the code is executed by the line by line, you can identify and fix the issue as you go, right? So let's make a complex example over here. For instance, let's say x equals to 5 and y equals to 0. As the result, I'm just trying to do x divided by y, and let's print the result. Print result. Say the changes. Now if I try to, all I have to do is to quit, clear, and if I type this Python 3 app.py, so see here, it's checking the line number 1 and it's executed because that is not an issue. X equal to 5, it's been assigned, and y equal to 0, that is also assigned properly, and the result is equals to x divided by y. At this point, when it's trying to execute this line, it faced that runtime error, which is zero division error, which is not possible, and it's not executing the line number 4, which means once it's identified that error, it stops executing right there and it's throwing that issue, which means whatever the number of lines which comes after that error, it's not going to execute. So it's not going to waste your time at all. So once it's find that error, stop right there and it will instruct you, we have an error over here, so we have to fix it. So that's the advantage of having the interpreter in our hand, right? So in this example, we just try to divide by 0, right? Which is an error. We know that, of course, division by 0 is not possible, right? So this is how the interpreter reacts compared to any compiled languages. So that's the main advantage of the interpreter. So To wrap up the entire concept of Python interpreter, which plays a crucial role in executing our code line by line. And it provides us with the flexibility of an interactive development environment, and it makes the debugging a breeze. Understanding how the interpreter works and empower you as a Python developer. So that's all about this session. So without wasting your time further, we have to jump into the data types and variables concept, and which I'm going to discuss in the next session.